Please welcome relationship coach. This is Michael Fiore. Michael Fiore, everybody. You're not talking about dirty messages. There's a difference between sexting and texting.
What I teach is how to use, the same technology, text messages, as a way to bring that spark, bring that intimacy back into your relationship. I always tell people to be unapologetically romantic in their texts. To a woman, you can say, can you imagine how good it's going to feel to wrap my arms around you tonight? And it causes her to imagine. Yeah, exactly.
That just worked on me, and he's not even mine.
Well, the funny thing, Rachel, is a lot of guys, when they hear me say that kind of thing, they say, oh, Michael, that's so cheesy, right? And I say, it's cheesy, but the entire audience went, ah.
I got chills.
Yeah.
I have been taking Michael's advice, and over the past day or so, I've been using some of his techniques and texting you with cute little things to test it out and spark things up.
They were nice. I enjoyed them. I loved them. Michael, I thank you.
I tell you, we have to take a break so that everybody can do their homework. I want everybody texting over this break.
Hi, this is Michael Fiore. And in this short video, I'm going to obliterate all the silly myths you've heard about why men aren't as romantic as you want them to be. Reveal the secret, real reason your husband or boyfriend almost never takes you out or surprises you anymore. It's not what you think, and it's not the lame reasons Cosmo has told you. And as weird as it sounds, we'll show you how to use tiny little text messages sent from your average cell phone to transform even the biggest romantic numbskull into a secret Prince Charming, who thinks about you all day, craves your attention, and can't help but sweep you off your feet. No sexting required. In fact, even though this might sound impossible now, after you watch this video and do what it says, like thousands of ecstatic women have around the world, you'll be shocked at the staggering transformation that happens in your man literally overnight. How he suddenly finds himself not just willing, but eager to give you all the attention you deserve. How he thinks about you, fantasizes about you, and counts down the moments until he gets to hold you in his arms again every time you're apart. And how he even develops a bit of a romance addiction, where he goes out of his way to make sure you feel constantly loved and connected to him no matter how far apart you are, and where seducing and romancing you becomes his irresistible new favorite hobby. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do in just a moment. I showed Rachel Ray this method when I appeared on her show, and she said it gave her chills. But before I do, I need to talk about the big romance lie that's keeping you from having the sexy, connected, and fun relationship you want now. What's the big lie that's keeping your relationship stuck in neutral and has you acting more like roommates than lovers? The big lie is the idea that men don't like romance, that with your job and kids, you don't have time for romance, and that being romantic is something that your guy has to be forced to do, even though he'd rather be doing anything else. As a guy, I can tell you the weird truth is most men actually have a secret romantic inside. They just don't want to admit it. And any woman can wake up her man's most passionate heart and bring the fun, excitement, and overwhelming desire back into her relationship just by pushing a few buttons and hitting send. I know that sounds weird, so let me just explain. If you're like the thousands of women I've helped in the past, every relationship you've ever been in has probably followed a variation of this really depressing timeline. When you first met the man in your life, your husband or your boyfriend, you were in romantic heaven. You couldn't get enough of each other. He went out of his way to seduce you, to make you swoon, and to earn your love. Then you fell in love with this man, and suddenly you were in a romance recession. Suddenly you weren't going out as often. You were mostly curling up on the couch and watching movies, and that spark just didn't quite seem as intense as it once was. And then when you got married or got committed or somehow kind of coupled up in a real way, it was almost like you went through romantic suicide, where doing anything romantic became as common as a blue moon, and you found yourself acting more like roommates than anything else. Heck, if you're married, I'm sure you remember how excited you were on your wedding day, how you thought that amazing feeling of love and connection and romance you had when he slipped that ring on your finger would last forever, and at how much it hurt when you woke up a few years or even a few short months later, and realized you'd become more roommates and co-parents than lovers, that the spark had faded, and that while you'd sometimes catch him looking at other women out of the corner of his eye, he hadn't looked at you like that in ages. In fact, if you're like most women I've helped using this weird little method, as soon as you got comfortable in your relationship and really started to create a life together, you felt like you got banished to romantic Siberia. A horrible place where you and your man don't talk about anything important anymore, only go out together on special occasions and don't have fun anyway, and where you feel like you were given a life sentence of boredom with no chance at all of parole. Sound familiar? I bet it does. And I bet you're wondering, like so many women before you, why? Why did the guy who used to pursue you, seduce you, and really romance you when you first got together suddenly lose his taste for romance as soon as things got even a little bit serious? And what can you do to bring that amazing spark back again? Hint, it doesn't involve expensive vacations alone, trips to the counselor, or hours and hours of talking about the relationship. And it's not because he doesn't love you or because he doesn't care. To answer that question, I need to reveal a few simple truths about a man's romantic mind no one has ever told you before, and show you how to access the deepest parts of his brain and hotwire his desire and his love in a weird but staggeringly effective way. Fact. Romance means very different things to men than it does to women. Duh, I know you know that one. If you're like most women, romance to you means connection, communication, long evenings cuddled up together by a fire, and slow, sensual lovemaking. You know, the kind of thing you read about in romance novels and see in bodice ripper period movies. And even though guys can really enjoy that kind of thing, if they can drop their guard for a while and feel they've earned it, to men, romance is a game. But when they win, you both lose. Plain and simple, us guys are hardwired deep in our genes to hunt and pursue women, to whisper sweet nothings in your ears, to do anything to make you swoon, and to win your love and affection and claim you as our own. What this means is that inside every man, there's a romantic beast just waiting to be set loose if you know how to flip the switch and give him permission to act. Okay. If your man actually is a secret romantic and subconsciously wants to pursue you, why isn't he buying you flowers 3 times a week, writing little notes, and sweeping you off your feet? That's a really good question. And here's the really good answer. In order to get your man to act on his romantic impulses, he needs you to do 3 things. First, he needs you to tease him. Like I said a second ago, to guys, romance is a game. As soon as he felt like he won you, he lost interest because he subconsciously felt like the game was over. If you want to reawaken the real passion in your relationship, you need to remind him what a valuable prize you are and let him know the game is still on. Second, he needs you to give him permission to be a guy, to be unapologetically masculine, without fear of being judged or being yelled at, and to feel powerful and desired as a man. And third, and this is weird for me as a guy to talk about, your man needs to feel safe, like he can be romantic without it being a big deal, without huge expectations, and without any of the other guys having to know. So how do you do all that? It might sound shocking at first, but the best way to wake up your man's inner romantic is by sending him certain text messages that have been proven by tens of thousands of women already to work. Now, if you're like most women, you might be thinking, texting? Isn't that just for bored teenagers and adulterous sports stars like Tiger Woods and Brett Favre? And you know what? You wouldn't be alone. That's exactly what Rachel Ray said to me when I sat down on the couch next to her on her show. Actually, she opened up the show by saying, "Michael, let's talk about sexting." Then her jaw dropped open a few moments later when I gave her a few magic texts to try. Got the whole audience to gasp, and used a couple from the audience to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt how powerful this texting thing can be for your relationship. Plain and simple, and as weird as it sounds, sending the right text messages to your husband or boyfriend during the day can have shocking and drastic impact on your relationship and will give you a whole new level of emotional, mental, and even physical intimacy. Why? Because by texting your man the right way, you can feed him the kind of secret fantasies and emotional bait he's genetically programmed to respond to. Wherever he is, whenever you want, painting a goofy smile across his face and building his craving for you to a fever pitch. With the right text, you can prod and tease him, even when he's miles or thousands of miles away, reminding him that the game is on. You can have a secret conversation with your man and create a private fantasy world between the two of you where he can open up and be unapologetically romantic without feeling embarrassed or exposed. Do it right, and he'll feel like the most powerful, sexiest man on the planet. Will scheme about ways to make you smile, and will finally feel like he has permission and motivation to give in to his secret romantic desires, to seduce you again, and to constantly earn your love and affection. And all without you having to get frustrated or angry anymore, without having to carve out a lot of time for each other, because I know how hard that is, and simply by pushing a few buttons on your cell phone. Okay, Michael, I get it. I see how I can use text messages to bring the spark back into my relationship, but how do I actually do it? I'm glad you asked, because I've got a really good answer for you. Like I said, my name is Michael Fiore. That's me on the right there. And for the last few years, I've been teaching people just like you how to use text messages to drastically improve the love, passion, and intimacy in your relationships. Honestly, it started off as just something fun to do. One night I was sitting around with some friends and I shared an appreciation text with a buddy of mine at our poker game and watched as his phone leapt off the table the moment his wife received it because she was so excited at what he said to her. And from there, things got a little bit crazy. I started sharing these weird little texting techniques I come up with for me and my girlfriend with my friends and kept getting more and more amazing results. And the next thing I knew, I was on the radio being featured in blogs and even flying to New York City to be on the Rachel Ray Show on Valentine's Day. All because I'd figured out the secret code to using text messages as Love Letters 2.0. Finally, I decided to package up everything I knew about using tiny little text messages to hijack your man's romantic mind into a simple step-by-step program I call Text the Romance Back, the 30-day digital relationship transformer. Text the Romance Back is a step-by-step system that will show you how to use tiny little text messages sent from your average cell phone to instantly ignite a tremendous fire in your relationship, to help you and your boyfriend or husband quickly connect on a deep and primal level, even if your man isn't romantic or isn't much of a talker now. To have him freely giving you the attention you've desired for so long without ever having to ask for it, and to create a better, more romantic, and more passionate marriage or relationship where you can relax and be treated like a woman literally at the push of a button. The program is crammed full of step-by-step instructions and done-for-you texts designed to crawl into his unconscious mind and subtly awaken the secret romantic within. When you grab your copy of Text the Romance Back today, you'll discover how to attract his attention no matter where he is, no matter how busy he is, or how addicted to work he might seem, all by using the simple curiosity magnet text no man can ignore. The stunning power of appreciation text that will send subtle shivers down his spine. You'll be shocked at the spring he gets in his step and the goofy smile that spreads across his face when you use this simple method to tell him how you really feel. Feel like the passion is missing from your relationship? Once you learn the power of sensual compliment texts, you'll be able to multiply the heat in your relationship and have your man feeling warm and romantic, even on the iciest of days. And you'll be shocked at the tingle that goes through your whole body the first time he uses one of these on you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. As you get into the more advanced material, you'll also discover the incredible text massage technique, a technique so simple but so powerful, you'll swear you feel his hands on you, kneading your muscles and sending you to a place of total relaxation, even if he's all the way across town or on a business trip in a different state. Next, you'll discover the distance destroyer text. I've had men and women stationed overseas say this one technique saved their relationship and got them through a long deployment. Use this simple text to have your man feeling like he's right there next to you and loving every minute, even when he's across the country or around the world on business. Sick of getting in the same old fights and never ending up happy? With the 3 magic words text, you'll be able to stop arguments in their tracks and laugh and enjoy each other even when times get tough. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Next, you'll learn how to flirt and tease him with digital telepathy texts, even when you're in the same room. You'll be shocked at the look he gives you when he reaches into his pocket and sees the message you sent him, and how eager he is to get you alone afterwards. And for when it's time for romance to turn into hot and heavy passion, you'll discover how to use digital foreplay to enter the most private and primal parts of his mind and create a level of attraction and desire in your relationship you haven't felt since you first kissed. In fact, if you're like most of the thousands of women who have used this already, you'll feel like you've gone through a relationship time machine and have created a better, more connected, more intimate, sexier, and more fun relationship with your man, literally at the push of a button. Susan from New York tried the system and was amazed at the new spark between her and her husband the very first day. Ashley from Seattle says, Text the Romance Back revolutionized my love life, and has her busy boyfriend showering her in attention in a way he hadn't done for years. And Anne from New Jersey says she always thought her husband was a romantic numbskull, but suddenly he's sending me sweet, sensual messages I simply can't believe. And those are just a few of the thousands of emails I've received from incredibly satisfied women after trying this simple system. Here's my promise to you. If you've got 2 thumbs, you can do wonders for your relationship and be giddy and passionate like teenagers again just by using these simple techniques like thousands have already. Okay, how do you get started? How much for the Text the Romance Back system, as featured on Rachel Ray and including dozens of done-for-you texts for both you and your man to use, plus my patented romantic texting formulas I promise you've never heard before. Honestly, this is the only program like this in existence, so there's nothing to compare it to. So let's just think of the alternatives you could try, or that you've tried already, to bring the spark and the romance back into your relationship. You could try planning a romantic dinner. That will cost you at least $100. And if you're like a lot of women, you'll find yourself annoyed at how reluctant he is to romance you, and how he spends all night talking about work or reaching for his phone to check the sports scores. You could try to grab his attention with sexy lingerie. A really nice set will cost you a few $100, and while it might turn him on, it won't really get you the real romance you want so much. Or you could try a romantic weekend away. That will cost you thousands to do right. And even if you do connect on a deep level and get physically and emotionally closer, you'll probably end up right back where you are now as soon as the magic of your vacation is over. Let me ask you a question. Years from now, when you're looking back, how are you going to feel if you could have made your relationship so much better just by pushing a few simple buttons on your cell phone? Not to get depressing here, but most couples in this country just don't make it. They get too busy for love. They forget to be romantic, to seduce each other, to love each other. They drift apart, they get bitter, and all that passion just turns to apathy and anger. How are you going to feel if you could have brought back the romance, the lust, and the love? And what if you could have done it all just by tapping out a few tiny messages on your cell phone? It's hard for a lot of women to believe, but having a great relationship, being that couple who everyone else is envious of, is really just about doing a few little things right. As I showed live on television with Rachel Ray, the techniques I teach in Text the Romance Back work very well. And because I want you to experience the results for yourself, I'm going to let you have the full program at a price you're not going to believe. The regular retail price of Text the Romance Back is just $97. Less than one expensive dinner at a romantic restaurant, not to mention what you'll pay for a babysitter and gas, and a lot less than you'll pay to a relationship counselor if you don't get this romance thing handled, if you don't feed the desire you've got burning its way through your heart, if you don't do something to fan the flames of your love. I know $97 can seem like a lot of money to people sometimes, and I want to take away every barrier to you getting the romance you deserve. Everyone who's used Text the Romance Back says it's a steal at $97, and my friends tell me the very least I should sell the program for is just $67. But I want to make this a real no-brainer for you. I want you to try this material and see how well it works for yourself. That's why I'm willing to let you have Text the Romance Back for just $47 today. Plus, if you act now, I'll also give you the audio version of the training at no additional charge, so you can study up while at the gym, in the car, or anytime you've got your headphones. And you'll get my new Facebook Romance Secrets program absolutely free, a $27 value. Facebook Romance Secrets is a new program I've created that will allow you to seduce your man, or any man actually, using Facebook and social media, and will give your guy ideas that will have you swooning every time you log in. As I say in the course, what you post on Facebook is the story you tell the world about yourself. And in this training, my friend Mike Hill and I will teach you how to tell a story that will have your partner grinning from ear to ear. In Facebook Romance Secrets, you'll discover how to use simple little posts on your man's Facebook wall to rivet his attention and send shivers of anticipation through his whole body. Facebook photos and how to comment on his pictures in a way that has his friends and family gushing over how you're the perfect woman for him. How to be unapologetically romantic with your partner and have him scheming up ways to put a huge smile on your face. Facebook Romance Secrets is normally $27 all by itself, but I'd like to flat out give it to you just for trying out Text the Romance Back today. Just to add it all up, as part of this special promotion, you'll get Text the Romance Back training program, normally priced at $67. The Text the Romance Back audio, regularly $17 and only available if you buy the main program. Facebook Romance Secrets, both the print and the audio version of the program, regularly packaged at $27. That's at least $108 of value for less than $50. All you have to do to get started is enter your email address and click the big, shiny, inviting Add to Cart button that just appeared below. You'll gain instant access to everything and will be texting the romance back with your man tonight. And of course, your investment today is covered by my You Get Romance or You Don't Pay guarantee. Here's how this works. Simply order today. Use the material. If you aren't blown away and if you don't get fantastic results, just email me within 60 days for a complete refund. No fine print, no BS. Listen, the way I was raised and the way I like to do business is, I don't personally think I deserve your money unless I can drastically over-deliver and get you fantastic results. That's why I offer this generous 60-day guarantee. You have 2 full months to really kick the tires on this program, to dig through every single page of the program, every single detail, to use the simple text that I flat out give you in the program and see for yourself whether they work for you and your relationship and the man in your life. If they don't, simply send me an email telling me, you know what, Michael, I tried it, I gave it a fair shot, and it wasn't for me, and you'll get your small investment back, no questions asked, and we'll part as friends. It really is as simple as that, and you really do have nothing to lose and nothing to fear. But you really do have to act now. I'm selling Text the Romance Back for just $47 as a market test, but I'm planning on raising the price or maybe even doubling it in the near future. When you think about it, you've got a really simple choice to make, and you've really just got 3 options. Option 1, do nothing. Keep going the way you are now. Keep being frustrated and risk things getting worse because you don't take action. But you know what? I think if you've watched this far through this video, it's because you know that doing what you're doing now simply isn't working. The romance that you crave in your relationship and that you probably used to have simply isn't coming back on its own. And if you don't do something, you're going to keep waking up every morning feeling a little bit dead or bored inside. You're going to keep looking at your man and thinking, why don't things get better? And you're going to find yourself heading towards a future that you probably don't really want. Option 2 is to take what you learned here in this video today and try to wing it with your husband or boyfriend. Risk making up your own text and hoping for good results. You can try this, but I can tell you from experience and from thousands of women I've helped around the world that the chances of you sending the wrong message and getting the opposite result of what you want this way are huge. And then, of course, there's option 3. Risk absolutely nothing at all today. Grab the Text the Romance Back training for just $47 today as part of this special promotion and line up to be another of my growing list of success stories of women and couples all around the world. And all you have to do to get started is enter your email address and click the big, shiny, inviting Add to Cart button that just appeared below. Like I said before, you'll gain instant access to everything. The complete Text the Romance Back system, the Text the Romance Back audios that you can listen to on your iPod or in your car, and of course, Facebook Romance Secrets. You'll get everything right away so you can really take this material and use it tonight. You'll be able to send your first text within just a few minutes from now and find out for yourself how incredible it feels when you get a message back from your man, when you get that smile, when he finds himself acting romantic for the first time in who knows how long. Listen, I want this for you. I want you to experience for yourself how great it feels when you start using Text the Romance Back and start getting results like so many thousands of women, and possibly even tens of thousands of women at this point, have around the world. Ever since I was on the Rachel Ray Show, I've had so many women coming to me and saying, Michael, I tried your stuff and such amazing things happened. And I have men who say, my wife, my girlfriend bought this material, she showed it to me, and I can't believe the spark that has brought back into our relationship. But in order for me to help you, you have to help yourself. You have to take one tiny little action right now. All you have to do is enter your email address in the space you see right underneath this video, order Text the Romance Back, and use it. Again, you've got nothing to lose and a tremendous amount to gain. I really can't wait to hear about your success. I can't wait to add you to my growing list of testimonials and success stories, and I really can't wait for you to text the romance back into your relationship. I've been Michael Fiore. Thank you so much. So here, as you can imagine, I get a lot of questions with all the national attention I've been getting. So let me just answer some of the most common questions I've been asked about the Text the Romance Back system. Question number one, how quickly will I get the Text the Romance Back? A lot of folks ask me, Michael, is this a book that's going to be mailed to me? How long is it going to take? I really, really want to use this right away. I saw you on Rachel Ray. I saw you in the media. I tried out some of those free texts that you had given away before. They're so cool. When do I get this? Text the Romance Back is a downloadable program. As soon as you enter your email address and hit the Add to Cart button, you'll be brought over to a shopping cart through a company called ClickBank, who handles a lot of digital commerce online. Very, very trustworthy company. I've used them for years now, and they do a fantastic job. As soon as you enter your credit card information and click the Submit button, you'll be brought to a link where you can download the complete Text the Romance Back system. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to download the entire thing onto your computer and to start using it. From there, you can very, very easily just put all of the audios onto your iPod or your media player or whatever it's going to be and listen to it. Download the PDF of the program and print it up. And start going through the Text the Romance Back system. I've really designed the program to be very, very easy to use. It's high on content and low on theory. It's exactly what to do, exactly what to say, the perfect text to use on your man, and the perfect text for your man to use on you as well. So you'll be able to get started in just a few minutes. Question number two, I'm not in a relationship right now. Can Text the Romance Back still help me? I get this email from women all the time who they watch my videos, they see me on TV, and they say, wow, I don't have a man in my life right now, not somebody who I'm seeing in a really serious way. Can Text the Romance Back help me? The answer is definitely yes. I have many, many single women and women who are divorced, things along that line, who try out Text the Romance Back. And what you'll discover is it's a great way. Much of this material is very, very useful when you first meet a man. When you first meet a man, by going through Text the Romance Back, you're going to understand him in a way that most women simply don't. And you're going to be able to open the door to romance with this guy, to stop playing games with him, to be able to show that you can really, rock and roll in a really emotional and fun way through using the Text the Romance Back program, particularly when you get to the stuff about the digital telepathy stuff and the digital foreplay stuff. I think you're really, really going to enjoy the effect that Text the Romance Back has on your love life and your dating life. Question number three, what if I don't text? What if my partner doesn't text? I do get this one occasionally these days, though less and less often than I used to. If you don't text, that's actually okay. I've had a lot of people tell me, Michael, we've used the Text the Romance Back program. We bought the program. We tried it out. I don't do text messaging. Instead, I write little notes for my man, and I put them on Post-it notes on the mirror so he sees them when he goes to shave. Or I use them over email, or I use them over instant messenger, or things like that. The material that I'm going to teach you works no matter what. I've adapted it, of course, so it works extraordinarily well over text messaging, because personally to me, what's so wonderful about texting is the immediacy of it. The fact that as soon as you hit a button, this message goes out across the ether, bounces off of a satellite, and all of a sudden it's in the cell phone of your man. He looks down on it, he sees this thing, and he's like, oh my God, look what just happened to me. So really, don't worry if you don't text. I think you should start, because it's such a wonderful way to stay in touch with both the people in your life and your husband or your boyfriend. But if you don't worry about it. A lot of the text romance back material will still work for you. Question number 4, were you really on the Rachel Ray Show? What's she like? Yes, I was on the Rachel Ray Show. They actually invited me to be on her show on February 14th, Valentine's Day of 2011, actually. It was really a whirlwind experience for me, let me tell you. I'm just a guy in Seattle, Washington. I'm not a doctor. I'm not like, somebody like a professor of relationships or anything like that. I'm really just a guy who figured this stuff out. I figured out that using text messages is such a powerful way to really connect in your relationship. I use it with my girlfriend all the time. I travel a lot for my business. I have a few different businesses I run, and I'm on the road a lot. And I found myself using text messages with my beautiful, wonderful girlfriend to keep her connected to me, to let her know I was thinking about her, to let her know I loved her, to let her know I lusted after her. And she did the same back to me, and I just realized how powerful this was. So as I started deciding to really share this with people, I was shocked when we started getting all these emails from people saying, Michael, will you come on our radio show? Will you interview for our blog? Will you do this? Will you do that? And when the Rachel Ray Show called, that was a really big kick in the pants as well. They actually called about a week and a half before the show. They flew me out to New York City. I was very nervous. I hope I didn't come across as nervous in the actual clip. Rachel and I, we didn't really talk that much, didn't really get to hang out that much. But she seemed very, very nice. I remember the producers were all like, oh, we're not going to talk about the sexting thing. And I was like, that's fine, because Text the Romance Back really isn't about sexting. It's about romance. It's about relationships. Yes, sex is a part of that, but that's not really what I'm going for here. And of course, the first words out of Rachel's mouth are, Michael, let's talk about sexting, in that voice of hers. She's really a very attractive, very funny, very nice woman. But I was fine with that, because I find that when people fall into the sexting thing, I guess we'll talk about that in a second, they're ignoring the fact that you can really use this tool any way you want to. Some people are using it outside of their relationships. I really like promoting how to use it inside the relationships. But yeah, the Rachel Ray Show was a ton of fun. I hope to go back someday. I really, really enjoyed it. Next time I come up with something really cool to talk about, I think they'll probably have me back. Great time. Question number 5, isn't this just about sexting? Are you trying to get me to sext, my man? It's funny, guys, when they hear about this program, they're like, is this about sexting? And girls are like, is this about sexting? Not really. No, I'm actually trying to help you get more romance in your relationship. Now, personally, to me, sex is a big part of relationships. Most relationships. There are certainly people who don't have, sex is a huge part of what they go through. But I find a long-term relationship, monogamous or otherwise, requires sex to really stay bonded. And I find that especially as women get older, they want sex more. They want more intimacy. They want to be touched more. And guys, we're kind of dumb. Most men are kind of dumb. They don't really realize how sexy and beautiful and wonderful and passionate women really are, especially after a woman's had a couple of kids and, created a family and maybe doesn't feel quite as hot to try as she used to. And I find that this texting thing really takes away a lot of the pressure of having to do this stuff in person. Guys get scared of having to really talk about their desire for love and romance and sex in person. And I find that, using texting, it's a way to kind of make it easier for them and make it easier for you, too, to become more connected. If you do want to get into the sexting thing, there is a section, the digital foreplay section, touches on that topic. This particular program is not like a hardcore, here's how to sext your man program. I do teach some of that stuff in another program. That's not what this one's really about. But no. It's really about romance. It's about relationships. It's about bonding. It's about getting you what you really want. Getting him to pay attention to you, crave you, have fun with you, look at you like he used to when you first got together, and really feel like there's that bond again, that physical, emotional, and mental bond between the two of you. I know it seems strange sometimes to think you can use text messages to do that, but as they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And texting is a great way to remind his heart about you. As men, we have this weird tendency to, if something's not around, we don't really think about it. That's not like a pejorative thing for men. I'm not saying men suck because of that. It's just the way we are, right? And this is a way as a woman that you can remind him you're there and show him you're proud of him and show him that you appreciate him for all of his juicy masculine maleness, And if sexting is part of that, that's cool, but it's not the entire part. Most of the Text the Romance Back program is much more about teaching men and women to appreciate each other again, to romance each other again, to feel good about their relationship, to talk in an intimate way, to really, really feel connected. It's a really wonderful program. I'm very, very proud of it. I really, really do hope you'll click the Add to Cart button below and try it out. I think you owe it to yourself to do that. Question number 6, isn't texting just something teenagers do? It used to be, not anymore. These days, I mean, golly, the customers that I've had, people that have bought Text the Romance Back, range in age from probably 19 at the youngest is what I've seen, all the way up to into their 70s. I've had men and women around the world tell me, Michael, I heard about you online from wherever, and I tried out your Text the Romance Back program, and wowie, zowie, great things happened. And these are people who were in their 50s and 60s, 70s even. I've had people tell me, I really, really wish I had your stuff earlier on in my relationship. Things got too bad with me and my husband. We weren't able to keep being romantic together, and we ended up getting divorced. And I'm not saying, text messaging, is that going to save your marriage? I don't think it's going to save your marriage. But if you go through the techniques that I teach you and really use them, it'll help a lot. It's a big step in the right direction. It's more than just texting in this program. It's really about how you communicate with your partner, with your man. It's about how you make him feel, how he makes you feel, how to let go of bitterness that you might have, how to accept the person in your life and love the person in your life. So you're like, no, it's not just for teenagers at all. If you're not texting now, I highly recommend you try it. It's a great way to stay in touch. And actually, you'll find yourself probably texting more often than you're answering, using the actual phone. I barely ever take actual phone calls on my cell phone anymore. Question number 7, my partner and I are fighting. Will Text the Romance Back help? Yes. Short answer, yes, if you do it right. There's sections in Text the Romance Back specifically about that. And, it's not one of those things like I've had people before say, hey, we're having the worst thing ever. He cheated on me with his sister and this happened and this happened. Is there one magic text I can send to fix everything? Men usually say that. Like, is there one magic text I can send to fix everything? Well, of course not. Relationships are hard. Being in love is a choice more than anything else. And as a choice, it's something that you actually have to work at sometimes. But I do find that Text the Romance Back, if you're in the middle of a fight, it's a great way to, when you get near somebody and you're in the middle of a fight, there's so much passion and anger going on at that point. But using Text the Romance Back, you can really take a step back from that. You can find yourself not being so angry because, he's at work. You can send a message that just says, you know what, even though I know we're fighting, here's what I really love about you. Or even though I'm mad about this one thing, you are still awesome. You are still wonderful in these ways. And I give you very, very specific language and terms to use in that. So yes, definitely. If you're fighting, it can be a really, really great thing to use. And as you repair the relationship, you're going to find yourself diving deeper and deeper into Text the Romance Back and really having a great, great time using this stuff. Turning romance into a game. Even if you have kids, even if you don't have any time, you can use Text the Romance Back as a game to have great things happen. Question number 8, what is this relationship time machine you talk about? The relationship time machine is a technique I actually teach in Text the Romance Back, a very, very effective technique, actually, using certain language to basically bring you and your partner back to when things were really good and when things were really easy. When you first met your husband or your boyfriend or whatever man you're with, the relationship was probably pretty simple. You were both on your best behavior. You were both having a lot of fun. You loved the way he smelled. You loved the way he looked at you. You loved the sheer manliness of him. And then as things go on, life gets more complicated. It becomes that you got kids, you got a house, you got a mortgage, people lose jobs. You fight about stuff, credit card bills, all this kind of stuff happens. The sex life isn't quite what it used to be. All this stuff kind of adds up. I call it cruft, essentially. All this material that builds up in your relationship that causes you and your man to not be as close as you want to be, to not be as intimate as you want to be, to not be as nice to each other as you want to be. And the relationship time machine is a technique where I basically teach you how to bring yourself and your man back to how you felt when you first got together. To have that wonderful feeling of attraction, to have that wonderful feeling of love and lust and juiciness and wonder, all just by, sending a few texts during the day. It's really, really cool stuff. It's probably the piece of Text the Romance Back that I get the most emails on. and response on. It's the kind of stuff that makes people kind of swoon, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you check it out and find out for yourself how effective it is. And of course, you can use that stuff beyond just texting, but I find texting is the best way to get started because it's so low impact. It's low risk. Sending a text, not that big of a deal. Okay. Question number 9. I'm a guy. Can I use Text the Romance Back too? Definitely. In fact, if you're a guy and you use Text the Romance Back, for one thing, I want to say congratulations for watching this video. This is a very female-oriented video. And if you're a guy who's watched through this video and learned a few things, good job, because it shows me that you care. It shows me that you really want to make that woman in your life swoon and make her feel juicy and make her feel like the most attractive, wonderful, beautiful woman in the world. One thing I teach guys all the time is if you do the little things, she'll forgive what are quote-unquote the big things. In a lot of ways. I mean, not the big things like, okay, but she'll, if you are romantic, all of a sudden leaving the toilet seat up isn't as big of a deal, right? If you show her that you love her, if you show her that you care, if you show her that romance means something to you, that you have a heart in your chest, that you think with your mind and with your heart and with passion, she'll really, really appreciate it. So yes, yes, yes. If you're a guy, you owe it to yourself to get Text the Romance Back and try it out. And question number 10, how fast can I expect results? Great question. So when I was on TV, the Rachel Ray show, I've been on TV a few times, actually. I was on Rachel Ray. I was on a few other shows, one more national show, a couple other local market shows in San Diego and things like that. And typically, as part of the spot I do there, I usually give people a text to use. I believe the text I gave on the Rachel Ray show was something along the lines of, and this is a really basic one that anybody can use, male, female, whether you're married, not married, whatever else. It's a really simple one. And all you say is, you have no idea how much I love and appreciate you, but I'm going to show you tonight, or something along those lines. And I gave that text to the entire audience. And of course, when I said it, every woman in the audience swooned. Every guy reached for his cell phone. I actually walked in the back afterwards. And the bouncer in the back, the security dude, this huge dude in the back, was like, "Hey, Michael, I used your stuff. That was awesome. I just sent it to my girl. She sent me back right away." There's a lot of text in there that you're going to get results with right away, most likely. You'll have people just kind of saying like, "Wow, this is really great stuff." If you're a guy, you use it on a woman, she will swoon as soon as you hit send, and she'll hit you back. If you're a woman texting a guy, you'll be shocked at how quickly he gets back to you and how he opens up. Now, for guys, it can be more difficult. Guys are kind of emotionally closed off in a lot of ways, but I give you a lot of techniques in Text the Romance Back to help you to break down that armor, to help you get into his heart. He does have one. Being a guy in our culture is kind of hard in a lot of ways because we're both told to be the man, to be strong, to open doors, to be chivalrous, all that kind of thing. And we're told to kind of be emotionally open and things like that. But for guys, that's not easy. It's not even easy for me, and I teach this stuff, right? I have to really work to be emotionally transparent with the woman in my life, to really be there, and also to really own my masculinity, to realize I'm a big, hairy 210-pound guy who's got certain desires and drives there. If you use this stuff, though, if you actually download Text the Romance Back right away and use it, you will most likely get some kind of response right after you send your first text. And within a week or so, you should really, really be getting some really, really good stuff going back and forth. It might take some adjustment. Every guy is different, obviously. But this has worked for thousands of women already. I remember after I was on Rachel Ray, I went onto her Facebook page and I saw hundreds of comments from people saying they had used that one little magic text and great things had happened. So you can expect results pretty damn quickly. And let me tell you, your man is not different. You don't have the one guy in the world who's not going to respond to this kind of stuff. All men have a lot in common mentally, psychically, and you'll get great results. And those are the 10 most common questions I get. But all you have to do to get started again is enter your email address and click the big, shiny, inviting Add to Cart button that just appeared below. Again, you'll gain instant access to everything. You'll get the full Text the Romance Back system at a great price. And you'll also get Facebook Romance Secrets and the Text the Romance Back audio at no additional charge. You'll be able to use this stuff right away. And honestly, just use this, see what happens. You got nothing to risk here. Right? I'm taking all the risk on myself for a reason. I believe in this material, and I know full well it's going to work for you like it's worked for so very many women in the past, and I want to help you. get off on this. I really enjoy seeing the results that people get when they use Text the Romance Back. And I want to see the results you're going to get as well. So again, all you have to do is enter your email address and click the big, shiny, inviting Add to Cart button that just appeared below. You'll download Text the Romance Back onto your computer. It'll only take a few minutes. You'll open the PDF. You can print it up if you want. You can take it out of the car and go through it on your lunch break, whatever you want to do, and you will get results with Text the Romance Back like so many thousands of women have before you. I really can't wait to hear about your success. In the program, I tell you how to get in touch with me, so you can send me a testimonial talking to me about what effect the Text the Romance Back program had for you. I love getting those emails. I get a lot of them every day, which is really cool, and I want to get yours as well. So again, my name is Michael Fiore. For Text the Romance Back, I want to thank you again for your time. I want to thank you for watching this full video. And let's just face it, if you've watched this far, if you're still listening to me talk, it means you want this. It means you want the results I've talked about here. You want him to want you like he used to. You want that romance. You want that fun. You want that spark. You really can have it, but only if you take action right now. So all you have to do is enter your email, click the Add to Cart button, go inside. I cannot wait to hear about your success. Thank you so much.